Hey everybody, it's Gypsy. I don't have my glasses on, but for some reason my camera's looking a little fuzzy. I'm not sure why. Um, so today I wanted to talk more on my search for, well, I don't know, a tiny home kind of cabin sort of thing. I'm going to try to do it. Hopefully the cat craziness here won't get in the way now that I have three cats. It's it's kind of bizarre. Rhiannon is my quiet, laid back cat. She wants nothing to do with Draco, the baby. So she just sits off. But Persephone, I'm thinking it's almost a shame she was spayed. I got her at 10 weeks. She was already spayed when I got her because damn is she a good mother. She has taken they're right there below me. She's taken on the role of mama with Draco. And she will lay with him and, cuddle with him to keep him warm. But she plays with him. And sometimes I swear, from what I'm picking up from the energy and stuff, Draco, don't play with the stand. Draco, no. When they're playing, it starts out as play, but then it gets like she's almost like teaching him how to protect himself and hunt. And it makes me nervous sometimes because she'll pin him down and get a little rough with him. And I'm like, Persephone, could you please not be so rough? But I think it's almost like what I feel from her, and she is my familiar, so we have a very strong connection. What I feel from her is she's saying to him, this is what happens when you're not paying attention, when you're not defending yourself, or fighting the right way. I'm showing you what happens. She never hurts him, but it can be very nerve wracking. But, anyways, back on the topic of tiny homes. So, my last video, I showed you a couple of the tiny home sheds I looked at, which I really, really love. That would be my best option, but I cannot pay full price. And the only thing they offer is rent to own, which is a ripoff because they have a rental fee of 49%. I am having a real hard time with that one. I just, it just keeps coming back to haunt me. My son told me, he says, Mom, 49% should be criminal. And he said it is, which is why they don't offer financing. If they do rent to own, then they could do the 49%. And that's just awful. So, anyways, I've been spending the last couple days doing a lot of research on other options. I'm trying to be open minded, think outside the box. Maybe there's something out there that I haven't thought of. Now, I'm not rich, I don't have a lot of money. So, I have to be very careful. Today I was looking at prefab tiny homes, and I did find a couple that really were not expensive, but it kind of takes me off course from what I really want. Now, the problem with these prefabs and the kits is that you have to put them together yourself when they get to your property. Well, that's what I'm trying to avoid. I cannot handle putting, well, a tiny house together. I just can't. I cannot do it. I'm not physically capable. I don't have the energy. So this is why I started looking more towards the sheds. When you buy from the smaller companies, as opposed to going to someplace like Home Depot or Lowe's, it comes to your property already put together. Now, it is a shell. Doing the interior is actually what I want to do and that I can do. What I want is so simple. I shouldn't be having this problem. I want a small home that is totally off grid. I mean, I barely need solar for it. And you guys know, I've said it a million times, I have solar, very little. I don't use it often. For my tiny home, I mean, so off grid that I have hurricane lamps and candles I make to use as lighting. So I just need very simple. I already have an idea for a, what do you call? I can't, the word is not coming to me. When you have your water up high, it's a simple word. I know it, it just won't come. A gravity. sink. I have an idea how to set that up. On the cheap, it would work great, I believe. Um, my biggest thing would be refrigeration. Now, the refrigerator I have in my trailer is run on propane. I do need some battery power to run the fan inside because when it gets hot in the summer, the fan kicks on to keep the motor cool. So that would be what I would need probably most of my solar for. I use solar, well, the lights in here, but in my tiny home, I don't plan on needing, like LED lights or anything like that because I really, really am looking forward to using hurricane lamps and candles. So I use it for that, the refrigerator, the lights right now, and to charge my devices. But I do know ways around that. So I really wouldn't need a whole lot of solar, if any, to the house. Right now, I live in a trailer that on the outside from tongue to back fender is 19.92 feet, which leaves me on the inside with 17 feet of living space. Some of that is the bathroom. So we don't have a whole lot. There's me and 3 cats in here, and as you know, I have a great pier. On days when the weather is not conducive to me being outside like I usually am, and I have to spend it inside, my great peer gets lonely, and he wants to come in. I will let him in, but he cannot handle being in this small space for very long. And also, if I'm running the heat, he can't handle the heat in here. So I am looking for, one, something that will accommodate my great peer if and when he needs to come in. And two, what I want is for my tiny home to be mostly kitchen. I want mostly kitchen. I have my wood burning cook stove, like I showed you guys. I want to be doing my canning, making bread, candle making, all these things I want to do. I need mostly kitchen, and I'd love to cook and bake. So that is what I mostly want. In one corner, I plan on having a tiny bed to sleep on. I need a small place for my altar and a small place for books, for my bookshelves. Okay. And then I want a bathroom that consists of a composting toilet and solar shower if possible. So I don't need much, and I want it all open floor plan like they did back in the pioneer days. Um, so what I'm looking for is so simple, it almost doesn't exist. So this is why the shed option was best for me because it's all open. I could do with it what I want. And that would have been best except for that 49%. It's really, really killing me. I am going to try looking. I'm going to call a couple other places, and I am going to go up to Lowe's and Home Depot, which over in Los Lunas, which is the closest to me. They're like in the same shopping center right next to each other. It makes everything very convenient. I'm going to go talk to them, see, what they have to offer. But I don't need much. And so this should not be the problem that it is. I never expected it to be a big deal because I want so badly to live simply, which is the concept of the tiny home, especially if you have a tiny home where you want to live off grid. But what I'm finding is these tiny homes, they're off grid, but still very modern. So they have a lot of solar and stuff. That's not what I'm looking for. I want to live like in the 1800s. I've always had that dream since I was a little girl, and I'm having trouble achieving it. So, my question to you guys, and I'm hoping there's someone out there watching this who has knowledge on this stuff. Because I get a headache after a while. Look, I get excited and I get so absorbed and I forget to do my other stuff. But it's like I have to keep taking breaks. And I'm open to other, like, keeping my mind open beyond one of those beautiful sheds. So if anybody has knowledge on this and can give me some sort of advice, on how to do this, I would really appreciate it. Now, my goal, especially with having a dog like a Great Pyr, I mean, he's like a pony. Yes, I want by next winter, when it's getting cold, to be set up in one of these cabins with my wood burning cook stove. So, like when it's canning season, I have that room. And when the weather is getting really, is getting, well, bad for New Mexico, I can bring Sirius inside, my dog, and we can all be comfortable. There's more room. It is so narrow in here. We have only 17 feet. I think it comes out to 150 square feet. So, I do want to go bigger with that, but it's the narrowness because I have like the kitchen appliances here. My dinette is on this side, and then the bed's this way, running across the back here that I'm sitting on right now, and my bathroom and a cupboard takes up the other wall. So it's very, very tiny in here. I'm looking for something a little bigger. This was great while I was traveling and living on the road. It was perfect. But now that I'm stationary and I have my own property, I need something a little bigger. I want to keep it a tiny home. I do not want anything huge, maybe on the large side of a tiny home, or slightly smaller or slightly bigger. I'm just being open-minded here. What I cannot handle is anything I need to build, anything that needs additional construction on the exterior. I cannot do that. I can't, and I do not want to. So on those points, I cannot be open-minded. I'm 58 years old. In my 40s and early 50s, I suffered from severe chronic illnesses. I still have to be careful. I'm healthier than I've ever been in my life, but I don't want to push that. Plus, other issues going on in my life are reasons I don't want to do any interior work, or exterior work. So if you have any advice on that, on tiny homes, anything you could offer that would help me along my way. Now, I don't like anything really modern. I'm very rustic, very old time, like I said, pioneer days, almost like a cabin. Doesn't necessarily have to look like an old time pioneer cabin, although I do have a dream of that. I'm open. Beyond that, as long as it's not too modern and cold looking. To me, anything very modern looks very cold, and I don't like that feeling. So please help me with that if you can, everyone. I'm going to leave you with that. Blessed be, and make it a joyful one.